We're just going to get into the word of the Lord. Is that all right? We need to come on, give God a hand praise in this house. Because whether you realize it or not, we have so much to thank God for. And God did not let us exist this long because we were so small or we were so fine or so short or so tall or so fat or so skinny. But he allowed us to get to be here because of his grace and his absolute mercy. Hey, it's God, by God's grace and his mercy, he has brought us thus far. Amen. And so we want everybody to just stay encouraged. Is that all right? One writer composed a song and said, be encouraged. And we want to be encouraged. Not discouraged, but encouraged. Is that all right? Because the devil comes by to discourage us. But we want to be totally encouraged because we have a lot. God has done so much for us to be happy about. Paul said in Acts 26, he says, when he had an opportunity to testify for himself, he said, I think myself happy. Sometimes when we're going through some dark days and dark times, some struggles, then we need to think ourselves happy. How do you think yourself happy? Think about what God has done. And think about what he's capable of doing for us. Is that okay? So we need to think ourselves happy. Amen. Amen. You know, when you was a youngster, you thinking about at night, thinking about your boyfriend, you just get happy. Think about your girlfriend, you start getting happy. Just think yourself just happy. And they 900 miles away. You up there thinking yourself happy. I know when Sister Kyle and I were doing some heavy coating, I'm in Galveston, she in Grand Canyon. I'm laying in bed thinking myself happy. It's Thursday, and I'm heading up there Friday. Amen. So we just thank ourselves. I don't know what she was doing, but I know I was thinking myself happy. And my car couldn't get to Logansport or Grand Canyon fast enough. Amen. And when I got ready to come home, my car always broke down. I had to stay another day or two. But it wasn't no problem with me because I was thinking myself happy. Amen. Amen. So we have to sometimes just think ourselves happy, just reminding ourselves what the Lord has done in our lives. Amen. For your reading today, we want to look at two particular chapters. 2 Kings 6, chapter 6, 8 through 17. 1 Kings, that's for you fellas that don't read your Bibles much. It's in the Old Testament, beginning at the 8th verse. And I'll give you a few seconds. 2 Kings, chapter 6, beginning at verse 8 through the 17th verse. I guess I'm right. We'll find out. Have you got it already? Then the king of Syria warred against Israel and took counsel with his servants, saying, in such a place shall be my camp. And the man of God sent unto the king of Israel, saying, beware that thou pass not such a place, for thither the Syrians are come down. And the king of Israel sent to the place which the man of God told him, and warned him of, and saved himself there, not once nor twice. In other words, Elijah's miraculous power gave him knowledge of what the enemy was thinking. Are y'all riding with me here? And therefore the heart of the king of Syria was so troubled for this thing, and he called his servants and said unto him, will you not show me which of us is for the king of Israel? So what he's saying, there's a spy in the house. And one of his servants said, none, my lord, O king, but Elisha, the prophet that is in Israel, telleth the king of Israel the words that thou speakest in thy bedchamber. And he said, go and spy where he is, that I may send and fetch him. And it was told him, saying, behold, he is in Dothan. Therefore sent he thither horses and chariots and a great host, and they came by night and compassed the city about. And when the servant of the man of God was risen early and gone forth, behold, a host compassed the city both with horses and chariots. And his servant said unto him, Elias, my master, how shall we do, or what shall we do? And he, Elisha, answered, fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. And Elisha prayed, and said, Lord, I pray thee, open his eyes, that he may see. And the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of horses and chariots of fire around about Elisha. Then we'll kind of move over just briefly to Mark 8:22-25, and then we'll try to muster up the subject. Mark 8, verse 22. And he cometh to Bethsaida, and they bring a blind man unto him, and besought him to touch him. And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spat on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking. After that, he put his hands again upon his eyes and made him look up. And he was restored and saw every man clearly. And he sent him away to his house, saying, neither go into the town, nor tell it to any in the town. But just for a subject this morning, I want to talk about corrective vision. Corrective vision. Some of us, as we grow older, Sister Collins, we develop problems with our vision that needs or requires attention. The older we get, dimmer our eyes seem to get, and sometimes we get issues with our eyes. We have cataract and some kind of what's the name of that disease? Macular degeneration disease, where just you slowly lose your eyesight if you don't really get it corrected. Amen. And so there's all kinds of eye problems that we have the older we get. And sometimes we are born with these eye situations. When we look at John chapter 9 and 6, as Jesus passed by, he saw a man which had been blind from his birth. He was born blind. The Bible declared that Jesus spat on the ground and made clay of a spittle and anointed his eyes and told him to go to the pool of Siloam and wash his eyes. And he followed, didn't make sense. Sometimes God will have us do things that don't make sense to us. Because the Lord could have easily said, you can see. Even in Mark, when we read how Jesus led the blind man out of the city of Bethesda. And that was a reason why Jesus did not heal the man in Bethesda, because Bethesda had messed up in the past. And history said that Jesus would do no healing in Bethesda, but he took him outside of Bethesda and spat on his face and asked, that didn't make sense. But all Jesus had to do was say, you can see now. But sometimes God will test you, just like he tested us the other day about the backpack. God will test your faith in him. And now we find that Jesus had spat on the ground and made a mud pie, if you will, and put it on the man's eyes and then gave him some instructions. Now go and wash your eyes at the pool of Siloam. But he followed, even though to us it did not make any sense, but he followed the Lord's instructions and somehow made his way to the pool. I don't know if he had a CNI dog or Cocker Spaniel or German Shepherd, or I don't know how he got to the pool, but if God tells you to do stuff, then he will give you the strength to do it. You may not see your way, but because God gave you those instructions, if you follow his instructions, he will lead you to success. And so when he got to the pool of Siloam, he washed as Jesus had gave him those instructions, and he received his sight. So sometimes our vision is from our birth, and sometimes our vision is because time allows us to need some assistance to see. Am I making some sense here? When we look at John 12 and 40, the man had been blind a long time. He was blinded in his eyes and could not see. And sometimes our blindness is not eye blindness, but sometimes we get so blind that we can't see that we are hurting folk feelings. We get so blind that we cannot see the word of God. We get so blind that the writer composed a song and said, "Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, now I'm found, blind, but now I see." Their eyes were blind. They could no longer see how to worship God. They were blind not only in their heart, in their eyes, but they were blind in their mind. So you can be blinded not only in your eyes, but you can be blinded in your mind. And so when some of you old schools can go back in the hands of time and look at Johnny Nash. Johnny Nash said he must have had at one time a vision problem. Must have had at one time, Uncle Henry, some eye problems. And he needed to receive some corrected vision. So what do you mean, Pastor? What do you mean? Well, Johnny composed a song that said, "I can see clearly now that the rain is gone. I can see all the obstacles that's in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind." Dark clouds, perhaps Johnny was referring to the crowd. The dark clouds had me blind. The things that I was doing had me blind. Perhaps he was referring to the folks he was running with, the dark clouds. Maybe it was the drugs he had gotten addicted to, the dark clouds. Perhaps it was the struggles he had in his life, the dark times. Perhaps it was the girls that blew his mind, dark clouds. Perhaps it was some trouble he could not get himself out of, the dark clouds. Perhaps it was bills that he didn't have enough money to pay. Dark clouds. Perhaps it was a situation in his life that he could not fix on his own. Dark clouds. And these dark clouds had him blind. Perhaps it was trying to hold on to a failing relationship. Dark clouds. And certainly we are in dark clouds when we are trying to hold on to a relationship that ain't going nowhere. Perhaps he was trying to get over, Lord have mercy, the loss of a loved one. Dark clouds. So Johnny said, gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. The mistakes that I've made now is gone. Lord have mercy. The things that I carried, the guilt that I carried in my heart for years are now gone. It's something when you meet the Lord, those things are gone. The unforgiving spirit is gone. The unloving spirit is gone. That violent attitude that I used to have is now gone. So then Johnny said, now that these things are gone, now that staying out all night long is gone, now that drinking Jack Daniels, white, green, and black is gone, now that the desire had to smoke dope is gone, now that the desire to lie to my friends is gone, then he said, it's going to be a bright and sun-shining day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. The dark clouds that brought me pain is gone. All of the bad feelings has disappeared. There is a rainbow I've been praying for. It's going to be a bright, sunshiny day. Then he said, look all around. There's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead. There's nothing but blue skies. Then Peter said, and 2 Peter 1:9 tells us about nearsightedness. You ain't blind, but you're nearsighted. He that lacketh these things is blind. You ain't got a dog, but you're nearsighted. But he that lacketh these things is blind. Verse 5 and 7. Virtue is that lacketh spiritual courage before a hostile world. He that lacketh the strength to stand for what is right. You can't stand what's right, you're blind. If you falling for anything, you're blind. He that lacketh knowledge of spiritual truth. We must study the word of God to prevent blindness. He that lacketh self-control, and self-control is rare today. A lot of us don't have self-control. Paul declared in 1 Corinthians 9:26 and 27, therefore I run thus not with uncertainty, thus I fight not as one who beats the air. Sometimes we find ourselves just trying to fight the wind. Can I talk to you here? But I discipline my body and bring it unto subjection, lest when I have preached to others, I myself should become disqualified. Look at your neighbor and tell them you need to control yourself. Tell them again, you need to control yourself. He that lacketh patience, he that lacketh godliness. Our lives should be like God. We should live, practice holiness. We should live, practiced holiness. Paul said in 1 Timothy 4:8, godliness is profitable for all things, having promise of the life that now is, in of which is to come. He that lacketh brotherly kindness. This identifies us to the world as Christ-like disciples. John 13 and 35 declares, by this all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. 1 Peter 1 verse 9, but he that lacketh these things is blind and cannot see afar off, and hath forgotten that it was purged with the old sins. Nearsightedness, short-sightedness, there are various degrees of impaired vision which are spoken of as blindness. Nearsightedness here specifies a form of blindness in which man lives for the present rather than for the future. It is so, we are so occupied with material things that it neglects the spiritual. Can I say it again? We'll get so nearsighted that we neglect, we're occupied with the material things, but we neglect the spiritual. Blindness, whosoever lacks the 7 characteristics listed in verse 7, 5 through 7, is blind. He is not aware of what is central in his life. He lacks discernment of the true spiritual values. He lives in a dark world. He lives in the shadows of this world. Forgetfulness. Finally, the man who lacks the 7 virtues has forgotten that he was cleansed from all his sins. The truth of his, I'm going crazy here. The truth of his redemption has lost its grip on him. He is going back in the direction or to the place where God has rescued him from. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, please don't lose your grip. It may get rough sometime, but don't lose your grip. Jacob decided when he was wrestling with an angel all night long, he said, I'm not going to lose my grip. I'm not going to let you go until you bless my soul. Tell your neighbor again, please. Don't lose your grip. I can hear Job saying this morning, I'm not going to lose my grip. For all the days of my appointed time, I'm going to wait until my change comes. Give your neighbor a high five if there's somebody next to you and say, don't lose your grip. You may be going through the storm and the rain, but don't lose your grip. You may be going up and down and being tossed all around, but don't lose your grip. Tell your neighbor again, don't lose your grip. I don't know about you, but I'm going to hold on to God's unchanging hands. I'm going to hold on to God's unchanging hands. The strong wind may blow, the billows may rise, but I'm not going to lose my grip. I know I'm being tossed to and fro, whatever wind of doctrine, but I refuse to lose my grip. I'm going to hold on to God's unchanging hands. I'm going to hold on to God's faith. I'm going to hold on to God's joy. I can't lose. I can't lose my grip. Lord have mercy. In the text, as we get ready to close, Syrian king was upset because all his secrets, all his secret plans, Lord have mercy, somehow got known by the king of Israel. I stopped by to tell you, when you have a discerning spirit, God will tell you stuff about other Negroes that other folk don't supposed to know. The king of Syria suspected that one of his men was a spy for Israel. When he learned that the prophet Elisha was revealing his plans to the king of Israel, do you not know God can wake you up in the morning and reveal your plan, his plans about somebody else? God will tell you, don't you go to work tomorrow. Don't you go to work tomorrow. Don't you drive your car tomorrow. Don't you go to the store tonight. God will reveal the devil's plans for you. And God will block those plans that the devil has for you. But when the king of Syria learned that the prophet Elisha, Lord have mercy, he was the one that was revealing his plans to the king of Israel, he set out to capture the prophet. How many of you know the devil sets out to capture your joy, sets out to capture your peace, sets out to capture your hope? So the king of Syria set out to capture the prophet at all costs. It's not going to cost me very little, but at all costs, I'm going to capture this squealing prophet. The devil is set out to get us at all costs. He set out to kill us at all costs. He set out to discourage us at all costs. He set out to upset us at all costs. He set out to break up your family at all costs. He set out to break up your home at all costs. He set out to break up your marriage at all costs. He set out to destroy your children at all costs. He set out to take your sons. He set out to take your daughters at all costs. At all costs. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, the devil is set out to get us at all costs. At all costs. He set out to cause folk to scandalize your name, scandalize your name. He set out at all costs to get folk to lose your job at all costs. He set out to get folk to falsely accuse you at all costs. The devil set out, got it to the Jews, and they falsely accused the Lord at all costs. Lord have mercy. He heard the king of Syria. The king of Syria heard. He heard that the prophet was living in Dothan. He heard that the squealing prophet was living in Dothan. He heard that the spying prophet was living in Dothan. He sent a large band of desperados, and they surrounded that city by night. It looked like when you're sleeping in your bed, the devil tried to get in your mind late at night. But I'm so glad at night that same God that watched over you in the daytime, that same God is around your bed at night while you're sleeping with your big mouth open, while you're snoring, God had already sent an angel around your bed at night. Lord have mercy. So when the king of Syria found out that the prophet was living in Dothan, he sent a band of desperados and surrounded the city that night. But early, help me say early, help me say early that morning, Elijah's servant was already walking around. Elijah's servant was already doing his duties. Got up early that morning. I'm so glad it's something about early, because it was early that third day morning that my Jesus got up with all power in his hand. It was early when Mary Magdalene and that other Mary came to the tomb where they laid Jesus. It's something about early. It was early in the morning when your rooster used to crow. I'm talking about the country folk here. Early, about 5 o'clock in the morning, you can hear that rooster crowing. And you know it was time to get up early in the morning. It was early. It was early that morning that Elijah's servant got up that morning. I don't know what he was doing up that early. Perhaps he was folding clothes. Perhaps he was feeding the pigs. Perhaps he was feeding the chickens. Perhaps he told Ramsey, old Ramsey the cow, to back her leg, and he milked the cow. Perhaps he was frying some eggs and making breakfast for the prophet. I don't know why he was up early. I don't know why he was up early. Maybe he was up early because he couldn't sleep that night. But he was up early. Then in the morning, Elijah's servant was up early. And when he got up early, he became terrified. Terrified when he saw the enemy surrounding the city. And the servant said, "Oh, Elijah, you're not going to believe this, but I got up early. When I looked around the city, the enemy, the Syrians, had surrounded the city. Elijah, what shall we do?" Every now and then, when the enemy surround your place, you need to ask the Lord, say, "Lord, what shall I do?" And the Lord would say, "Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." What shall we do? I'm terrified. What can we do? And Elijah told him, "Fear not, for they that be with us, I stop by to tell you, when the devil get you terrified, when the devil get your family terrified, you tell them, fear not, for they that be with us, they that be with us are more, Lord have mercy, are more than they that be with them." Tell them again, "Lord, I'm terrified, but they that be with us they that be with us are more than them that's with them. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Are more than they that be with them. Are more than they that be with them. I don't make no difference how many folk hate you, but I stop by to tell you, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them. I don't care how they treat you, but I stop by to tell you, for they that be with us, they that be with us, they that be with us are more than they that be with them, that be with them. I stop by to tell you, great is he that is in you than he that's in the world. They are more than they that be with them. More than they that be with him. Elijah began to pray. Sometime when it get a little rough, you need to stop getting nervous and get on your knees and pray. My Bible tells me, if my people, which are called by my name, would humble themselves and pray, seek my face, seek my face, seek my face. Then you'll find out, oh Lord, then you'll find out, for they that be with them, that they that be with us are more than they that be with them. Elijah began to pray. My servant, he didn't pray for himself, but he prayed for his servant. And sometimes you got to think about yourself and pray for somebody else. Elijah didn't pray for himself, but he prayed for his servant. Lord have mercy. He prayed for his servant. He prayed for his servant. Said, Lord, my servant needs corrective vision. My servant needs corrective vision. My servant needs corrective vision. Open his eyes that he may see. Open his eyes, he may see. I feel pretty good right here. Open his eyes that he may see. My prayer to the church, I say, Lord, the churches need corrective vision. Open the church eyes that they may see. Open the church eyes that they may see that I'm still blessing, that I'm still healing, I'm still setting free. Open their eyes that they may see I'm still saving, I'm still saving, I'm still picking up, still turning lives around. Open their eyes that they may see. He prayed, he prayed, he prayed not for himself, but he prayed for his servant and say, Lord, my servant needs corrective vision. Open his eyes that he may see. And the Lord, and the Lord, and the Lord, and the Lord open his eyes. And the Lord, and the Lord, and the Lord, and the Lord, and the Lord open the church's eyes. And the Lord open his eyes. Oh, help me somebody. And the Lord, and the Lord, and the Lord open his eyes. Lord have mercy. And he saw the mountains. He saw the mountains was not full of the enemy. he saw the mountains was not full of the Syrians. He saw that the mountains was not full of trouble. He saw that the mountains was not full of situations. He saw the mountain was not full of fools. He saw the mountain was not full of circumstances. Oh Lord, but it was not full of the enemy, but full of God's horses, full of God's soldiers, full of God's chariots, full of God's glory, full of God's strength. Open my eyes. Look at your neighbor and tell your neighbor, open my eyes so I can see. Open my eyes so I can see. Lord, correct my vision. Allow me to see that you're still a way maker. Lord, open my eyes that I can see that you're still opening doors for me. Open my eyes so I can see that you're still in control. I know the world's going crazy. I know everywhere I turn, there's always some trouble. Everywhere I turn, there's always some trouble. Every now and then, I have to walk the floor all night long. But open my eyes, open my eyes, open my eyes, open my eyes, so I can see you're still in control. Open my eyes so I can see you're still a heart fixer and a mind regulator. Open my eyes, correct my vision so I can see you're still, when I mess up, when I make a mistake, open my eyes, correct my vision, let me know that you're still a forgiving God. Correct my vision and allow me to see that you're a doctor that never lost a case. Open my vision and allow me to see. Correct my vision and allow me to see that you're still water in dry places. You're still a courtroom doctor, still a lawyer in the courtroom. Correct my vision and allow me to see. Lord have mercy. You never fail. You never failed me yet. And oh, I can't turn around because you never failed. You never failed me yet. Correct my vision and allow me to see. My healing is coming. May not come when I want it to come. It may not come when I want it to come. You may not come when you want me to come, but you're always on time. Correct my vision and allow me to see. My blessing is almost here. My blessing is almost here. And because it's not here yet, I'm going to praise you in advance. I'm going to praise you before my blessing comes. Praise you in advance. Allow me to see. Correct my vision. Correct my vision. Allow me to see that my deliverance is right behind my blessing. My deliverance is right behind my healing. Right behind my blessing. Right behind my blessing. Lord have mercy. My deliverance is sure enough coming. Correct my vision. Correct my vision and allow me to see that I heard, or that you heard, my cry. You heard my cry and pitied every groan. And long as I live and trouble rise, can I say it again? And long and long and long and long and long as I live and trouble rise, I hasten to his throne. Oh Lord, correct the vision. Correct. I'm almost finished. Correct my vision. Allow me to see that you are coming back real soon. How soon? Sooner than very soon. How soon? Sooner than very soon. The world is mad. Folk are lovers of themselves. Folk have become fierce. Folk are unthankful. Folk are disobedient. Folk, Lord have mercy. Folk are unholy. Correct my vision. And Lord, allow me to see that you're soon to come. Correct my vision and let me know that you're coming after church. You're coming after church without spot or wrinkle. Correct my vision and let me know if I'm shacking and you come, I'm going straight to hell. Correct my vision and let me see that I'm living in sin. Correct. What? Correct my vision. Correct my vision. Lord have mercy. Yeah, let's talk about it. I done preached though. I got 2 more lines, and I'll save them the next time. Get on your feet. I want you to hold yourself and say, Lord, correct my vision. The devil has got us so blind. We don't know where we are. We don't know where we're going. But you got to tell the Lord, Lord, correct my vision. I'm going in the wrong direction. I'm doing some things that I know I should not be doing. I wasn't raised like that. I'm saying some stuff now that I shouldn't be saying. I need you to correct my vision. I'm seeing things that used to be wrong. Now I'm seeing it as it's correct now. I'm seeing all of the homosexuality that's going on. And now I'm slow to believing that, it ain't too bad. We need to correct your vision. Just as God corrected the vision in the Bible. Say, open some blinded eyes. Johnny Nash said, whatever problems or scholars I had, I can see clearly now. Rain gone. Every now and then, we have rain in our lives. You ever been in a rainstorm, you had to pull over, but you couldn't see. And the windshield wipers ain't working fast enough. And you had to just pull over till the rain stopped. Lord, just pull me over. Clear me up. So I can see the things that I'm doing that's contrary to the Lord. In so many words, Paul was saying, Lord, I'm so glad you corrected my vision, because I felt, Stephanie, that what I was doing was right to the church. I felt that persecuting the church, I was doing right. Putting them in prison, I was doing right. And condoning some of the death of some, I was doing right. But on my way to Damascus, God corrected my vision. See, you'll never do right until you know you're doing wrong. Let me go over here. Somebody already agreeing with me over here. I'm going to go over here now. You'll never do right until you realize you're doing wrong. My little niece said, it's hard to do right with a do-wrong mind. It's hard to do right with a do-wrong mind. You got to get your mind right. What did Paul say? I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And when you get a renewed mind, then you can do right. Because your mind right. Heart fixed. Mind made up. I'm determined to do right. I'm determined to make it in with God. I was talking to a Jehovah's Witness the other day. He was telling me, and I didn't tell him nothing. I don't tell him I'm a preacher or pastor. I don't tell him nothing. I let you talk. And I said, when Jesus comes, I said, Jesus is not going to start in New York, and then the weatherman, the man going to get on TV and say, well, Jesus has already destroyed New York, and folk that's living right's gone. And by the way he's moving, he should be in Texas by Wednesday. It ain't going to be that kind of party. It don't work like that. It don't work like the weather system. There's a high pressure that's coming over Oklahoma, and it's kind of going around Texas. But because of high pressure, it's going to cause Texas to have low temperatures by Saturday. Ain't going to work like that.